game for Klinks was incredibly hard because you're playing into a Chen with Hand of God that will heal pretty much anything that you go on, so you can't get those solo pickoffs. Then you're playing into a track, so you can die just as easily at any given point in the game just by a solo bounty hunter. He can run you down. And then you're playing into a Meepo that has Earthbinds to contain you constantly and even maybe find you when you're invis. So it was a very difficult Klinks game. Now, all that aside, is Klinks your real counter to the Chen? That's my question now, because I don't feel it is. I know Synderen made a good point. You can hunt him in the jungle, you can eat his creeps, the laning stage is difficult for Chen, but eventually it reminds me of that old battle between Enchantress and Chen when they were picked against each other all the time. Yeah, Enchantress will win the laning stage. Yeah, you will be able to steal a couple of his creeps, but eventually he will just overwhelm you with all the utility that he brings to the table.
Yeah, you can't eat all of his creeps, and he's gonna have 3 and 4 later on. And of course, the heals we saw were doing so much, whereas the Klinks, who actually won the laning stage, they even killed the Chen. The Razor didn't have enough farm, and he did so much for his team just by keeping them alive. And here again, they go for a bounty hunter. Now again, we have a disruptor, again a hero that just dies to the bounty hunter every fight. He was okay last game, but up until a certain point, this hero only works if you are winning the game. So if you're chasing them, always get the bonus kill. That's the strength of this hero. Are you gonna be chasing a Chen and the bounty? Not necessarily, usually not.
And you weren't happy when it got picked last time around, so again, still, HR going for this, they've got to obviously try and make it work now in their favor. Would you expect them to work with it?
I'm just wondering if they'll get their Timber Saw again. Just do the same draft and ban Meepo. Like, test your true strength. But I'm surprised they didn't ban out the bounty earlier. I think that hero was extremely important in NiP's draft.
Like we said, that's really comfortable for them, right? That's just them to have a field day.
They didn't lose a game so far with bounty in all their pro games. If they pick bounty, they win with it.
And every time it was picked in the first phase. That's also the big deal. We are saying Kotal is not a bad hero, even though it has like 35% win rate, because it's always pick in the first phase. But bounty, they pick it in the first phase and they always win. Like, that has to tell you something. Do you have something prepared for him? From what I see, this is not burst damage, this is not control, it's not the way you deal with the bounty.
It's just their player. They do play it on position 1 as well, but Saberlight, going back to Hippomaniacs, this is where these two came from, actually. Supreme and it was a Czech stack, one of those rare teams. I'm actually sad that they disbanded, but this obviously works better for both of them. It was one of those rare teams in Dota that where all the players come from the same country. They were qualifying to WSG last year. I was going to say yesterday, last year, and they would always give him these heroes that are able to run in, be super aggressive from the offlane. If you remember the Axe with phase boots, he innovated that. He's one of the first players that started doing this. You creep skip with Axe for a little bit, then you buy Bracer, phase boots, and you gank mid. And he would do it every single fight, every single game. And Bounty Hunter fits his play style because he wants to be aggressive.
So what we're saying, right, about the whole Bounty Hunter thing, there's not seen a loss yet with NiP on our pro games for it. Is this HR saying we're going to find a way to make sure it happens? We're going to beat you down and take that away from you? Because otherwise I really can't see the madness as to why they're not banning it out.
So I told you, maybe they want to break their spirits, but it's not working. And now we have a Jug, who is a perfect hero for this game. Jugger doesn't die in this game. He literally never dies. Bounty Hunter, if he gets a pipe, he also never dies. And you have a Chen behind you. How do you kill these heroes? It's a big problem for HellRaisers. This time around, they have the last pick again, though. And hopefully they get some burst damage, something that can kill a hero fast, so that then you can play from there. They have solid chase.
I just want to say they didn't ban it.
Oh my god.
They didn't ban it. I don't want to say... Okay, I see. They didn't ban it, they prepared for it. All right. Okay. I can see this working.
Okay, you said they prepared for it, though. We're also seeing the Ember Phoenix, which you normally see picked at the beginning, right? So a later on pick here for HR. They've clearly thought things out on how this is going to go down.
Yeah, they baited the Meepo pick out, and they countered it with an Elder Titan. This Elder Titan is not only good for the Meepo, I really liked it overall for the game. It's very strong with Phoenix. It's hero that will be able to just crush the Meepo in the laning stage, hunt him afterwards, and it's going to be extremely difficult for him to play. But you end up again with a mid Elder Titan, and it looks like a free jug game.
Dude, but I've seen this Elder Titan kill everyone in one hit against the Meepo.
This is one of more interesting mechanics in Dota, right? So if you Elder Titan, you fire the spirit, and the amount of units that you hit directly correlates the amount of damage that you're going to gain when the spirit retreats. So Meepo has 5 or 4 Meepos, right? And when you hit every single one, you hit for like 1,000 damage. So this game is going to be fun no matter what.
We're going to see some craziness. We're going to see some excitement then with it all. Looking at these drafts though, has this swayed you more towards HR again? Now are you guys still in the NiP camp?
I'll go for NiP. I really like the Elder Titan. If this was a pub game, I'd say HellRaiser. This left lineup is going to destroy the right lineup. But I think that NiP know how to play against this, that they're gonna dodge this Elder Titan in the beginning of the game and then find the right time where actually to pounce and kill him. Other than that Jugger, it's just a perfect game.
Yeah, let's just satisfy Synderen and say this isn't a clear win for an IP. It's not 50, it's somewhere 55-45%, because as you said, Elder Titan can really devastate the game for a Meepo, just destroy him, hunt him, win every single team fight, but you can play against that, and I have seen many teams be successful versus that. You get that one Aegis, fight off of that, plus you have Meepo and Juggernaut versus the Egg. I'll favor NiP once again, but I'm hoping for game 3. Really.
All right, thank you very much, panel. It is time for us to go back to Sunsfan and Synderen. And did you hear that? Lizard is even trying to agree with you guys a little bit, but do you agree with him?
I mean, why is this a landslide victory for NiP, Lizard? Why isn't it?
No, you tell us.
Honestly, more than anything, I'm just excited to see, first of all, the fact it's always cool to see in Dota when a team picks almost the same lineup and one switches some things up. HR after the last game probably realized what mistakes they made. I wonder why they didn't pick ET in the first game. If the thing is a really good counter to Meepo, it wasn't banned, right? When they picked the Shadow Fiend in the end, so that maybe they were like you said, they forgot the Meepo, and then they also forgot their own Elder Titan. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just have a little bit of a... Is it called amnesia? I think it is, right?
Yeah, amnesia. That is a word.
Yes.
It's funny, though, because we did literally talk about that hero and the interactions with it. So we're going to get to see it. I can attest, Synderen, that it's still strong against a lot of heroes. I've seen it firsthand, actually. It's very, very strong.
Honestly, I still stand by what I said in the first game. I don't think NiP had like a mega outdraft in that game and should just roll it the way they did. And I think in this game, it's even closer for me. And I picked HellRaisers to win last game. I think they dropped the ball a bit, and NiP just rolled over them. They played super well with the advantage that they got. So, like the panel pointed out, I think from let's say from an idealistic standpoint of how to play the game, I think HR's lineup in game 1 was just harder to execute correctly. So they need to play to a very high level the whole time. So ease of execution was not theirs. But if they play their best, I think they can win that game. This game for me, it's easier for them as well. But
there's some good news for HellRaiser regardless, Synderen. They have a really good Roche fighting team around the pit.
Yeah.
Problem is they can't take Roche.
Right.
Unless it's already at 25% HP.
To try.
Exactly.
Like,
this time they can...
ET so we don't even bother.
They can bait NiP now, and they can take the Roche once it's low. That's the play. Right. And you can scout with your Astro Spirit all day long. But we did, the panel kind of mentioned this as well, against the Egg. I mean, Phoenix in general, with the Sunray, pretty good against Meepo, but of course it works the other way around. Meepo destroys the Egg super fast, Jug can spin, hit the Egg. So it's going to be a hard Phoenix game, like when it gets to the mid to late stages, as far as positioning goes.
Phoenix does have this ability to act like a magnet, though, right? If you're playing a lineup that feels like it should kill the Egg, it's pretty likely that it tries to do it, and that's where you set up your entire combo, right? I think you need to be a little bit careful as Dire going for the Egg because of the insane counterplay potential Disruptor ET have onto your Meepo. Fortunately, you have the Jugger who can, in the beginning, can get it done on his own by just spinning and then hitting the Egg, since there's no BKB piercing stuns or Magic Immunity piercing stuns on the Radiant. But later, as Phoenix gets levels, it might be a little bit tricky for Charlie. But yeah, it's very true. Like you talked about the Roche, right? They can't kill Roche. How does Radiant take towers, and how do they end the game? I think that's a bit of a concern here. Last game they had SF
That's pretty easy.
do it, right?
You have Elder Titan gain 500 damage from the Astral Spirit, and then you have a
it's towers.
finite amount of time to hit towers. As long as the enemy is standing within range of it, which is a very long range, Synderen, and as long as you keep them alive to keep supplying yourself with them, you can't kill them. Don't just kill the towers. That's the play. I could be a coach one day.
Yes,
My resume
but
is
for
very
who?
impressive. I don't know, anyone. As long as they pay. Lots of money.
The standards are out of control here.
Hey, well, what can I say? Charlie is going to be in the top lane on the Juggernaut with Seneco's Chen again. He's actually taking a lot of damage. He's going to take damage from the dive and the spirits, but he will live as a result of the ridiculous Hedris / Divine Favor combination.
Phoenix's damage on level 2 is not very great. This lane gets a lot harder for an NiP when Roger hits level 3, but he has quite a way to go. Funnick got some of the solo XP up here, so Roger is 2.5. And let's see what creeps Chen finds, because this time they don't have the Clinks to just remove his creeps, so the creeps will actually play a really big role in this lane. So Neko's small camp has been blocked twice, body blocking. He opened it with a sentry, but in the next turn.
Bounty Hunter gets first blood in the bot lane. Not expecting that one. So Mapochka, Disruptor, and Nyx on the Ember Spirit, able to take him out.
I gotta admit, I didn't catch that one, so I'm not sure how they got the kill, but, you know, like, just right now, this lane combo of Disruptor Ember, it's a lot of damage. If you get caught in the kinetic field, you take the full Thunderstrike, level 2 Flame Guard, and if you're harassed a little bit in advance from Thunderstrike, then it opens up for an opportunity. So nice first blood for them. It, like you said, it went to the Ember. Something that HR may be hoping for in this game with their strategy is that they can kind of ramp up the pace compared to the last game where, yes, they started taking some fights, but they still didn't really stop the Meepo from feeling comfortable. But in this game, if Ember explodes and if the Elder Titan explode, like they hit this insane timing in the, let's say, the 10 to 20 minute mark, maybe they can just run at them and fight them and stop. Ember getting a good start is definitely the way to go for that.
Do you think this is a good Ember game in general, though? As a position one? I mean, we talked a lot about the team fight, right? As we're going to see a little bit of action here in the bot lane. Saberlight getting saved here to a degree. Actually, Inkswell looking to re-aggress potentially. But the team fight is definitely there for HR. You got the Egg, which, like we talked about, can be, in theory, taken out very quickly. But of course, you do have Searing Chains, Disruptor ult, in addition to the ET ult, zoning. So the Egg could survive. But in terms of just as the hero versus NiP's entire roster, how does Ember look in general?
I think it's a bit weird to just look... Like, you need to look at the bigger picture of what Ember's going to play with, right? I think Ember by himself, if you just look at Ember versus Dire, it's not particularly great. But Ember plus the amount of follow-up he has poses a big threat. Like, his entire allied roster can follow up on Slide Chains. You can Epic Storm, you can ET Stomp Splitter, you can get Fire Spirits off plus Egg, the Void Spirit can follow up.
Ooh, bottom lane.
Saberlight barely living there.
Yeah, these last ticks of Thunderstrike, not enough again.
But if you're looking at it as the true position one, if you're like, can this guy carry the game? It's not necessarily the best damage output game for Ember, just because the enemy team will want to buy all these auras. They have AoE healing, and Ember is, you know, for the most part, it's a spread damage carry. Late game, when he gets like Rapier and stuff, he can start really destroying single targets, but mostly his damage spreads out across the fight. And that's where Chen's passive regen skill, his mech build-up, a possible pipe on bounty, if they do that again, which I'm assuming they will, it's going to mitigate a lot.
Okay. No, it's just interesting that you said that, though, because it feels like my question was more revolved around like pub mentality. You know what I mean? Like I look at position one as like this doesn't really look that good, but yeah, in conjunction with a lot of these zoning spells that they have, of course, on a pro team, executions could be a lot different, but. You can definitely see it working out. Mapochka level 4. Looks like he's potentially going to get chased here. No, they're not going to go for him quite yet. Inkswell is level 2 on Era. And of course, as Saberlight levels up and gets the Shadow Walk, we're going to kind of see a poor man's Weaver combination that we saw so much of this Era. Taking a lot of damage. Oh, nice sleight of fist dodging there. And they're going to be able to clean up the Grimstroke very easily. Saberlight looks to be next on the list potentially. Glimpse is available now.
Level 1.
Yeah, not quite in range though.
Yeah, so you need to have pretty good mechanical skill in a situation like that. Sleight of fist obviously 0.2 seconds, so it's a bit of it's just twice as long a window as a manta dodge, basically what he did there onto the Inkswell. Still very nice. Obviously the more targets you hit with slightly easier it gets, but he only targeted Era, so he felt very confident that he could pull that off, and he did. So nicely done.
Okay, Sani is plus 207 damage right now thanks to the level 4 Astral Spirit. That's just on 2 Meepos right now, so you can imagine. Like, what kind of build do you go for? Like, if you see this in a pub as Bounty Hunter is gonna drop to the bottom. What'd you say?
I think you go Axe, right? Oh my god, is he 4 hitting him? He kills him in 4 hits.
Well, Era's coming into play though, so they're baiting him a bit. Inkswell, if this connects, this could be a kill. It will. It's gonna be close though. He can just turn around and potentially punch him in the face, but no.
Wow, what a great play
Titan
from
does
NiP.
fall.
That was super good. Like, Supreme tank 3 hits on 1 Meepo, rotates it out, brings in the other Meepo, tanks 2 hits on that, and it gives just enough time for the Grim to connect and narrow that stun. That was actually just flat out perfect. That was super good. Nicely done. And a courier snipe for
Ember
Era too.
Spirits couriers down. Yeah.
That's a phase boots being played.
So you said Ag Titan. Is this something that is somewhat common in this core build?
Against Meepo, yeah, it is.
Yeah, Meepo, sure.
Yeah, it's really good.
Looking forward to it. I'm just used to the old right-click version. I guess you could still do it to a degree with Echo Saber and Trap. I don't know if pros actually utilize that as a position 2 Elder Titan.
Well, it looks like he's queuing up a drum first. But yeah. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be too mad at Echo Saber after Axe. It sounds like a pretty cool idea against Meepo, I'm not gonna lie. Getting 2 immediate 800 damage hits sounds pretty good to me. So could consider
It's
that.
quality,
Usually
bro.
you'll probably see AC or a crit as the more reliable options, but Echo has its charm, I think, in that.
I mean, the issue is you're getting that as a 3rd item that feels worse.
But I don't
so
think he should get it
definitely see
before.
AC.
That's my... Because then the Axe is too delayed. Like, he could even bypass the drum here, maybe, if he wanted, but it's just insane value to get all that move speed when you're chasing heroes down as Elder Titan. But yeah, obviously we should like, this Axe of Elder Titan has been changed like 15 times in the last 2 months. So let's remind ourselves, you become spell immune for 2 seconds per affected enemy hero when the spirit returns. So it's not tied to stomp anymore. Oh, Saberlight mid. 1 more punch. 1 punch, man. Yep, okay. Couple of punches, but
Pretty good, pretty good. Phoenix ends up dying in the top lane though, so it's trade of sorts.
do you?
There's one thing.
You're the Aghanims expert here.
Yes.
Does Astral Spirit Axe have a cap?
What
Or
do you mean
can
by
you?
cap,
So if
or
you're playing
how
against
high-
Meepo, right? If you hit all 4 Meepos and the other 4 teammates, you've hit 7, 8 heroes, right? Do you get 16 seconds of magic immunity then? Or does it cap at something? I think it doesn't have a cap.
Why would you call me an expert? I don't know anything about
You know everything about every Axe.
Supreme getting pounded into the ground as Kesani has 162 extra damage he's going to use to chop down Grimstroke. So I'm going to try to apply a little pressure to this mid tower. I don't know. 16 seconds sounds like quite a bit. I don't I feel like Ags might not be the normal choice for an Elder Titan if there's Meepo. Like, I don't personally see it.
You buy it against that hero, more or less.
So against any other build, it does not feel like a great. And it's better than it used to be. I'll
Against
say
any
that.
other hero, you don't play Core ET, right? It's like literally the only reason it gets picked in Pro Dota.
You can Cinderin.
You can,
okay?
I know,
At least
but,
in custom games.
Kasani
Pretty strong.
is not going in.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
what do you
We'll find out though. We'll find out.
I think you. I'm not really too accustomed to this Elder Titan stuff. I think it might be really important for him to have a Vlad's in the team. I'm thinking that would be super crazy value, right? You get insane life steal on your hits. You get the extra bit of armor against Meepo and Jugger. So I was just considering if any of their heroes would want to buy that. It's also good for Ember to have in the team. Wondering if Funnick will go for it, or the Phoenix is currently queuing up a Veil. Very good for their team. There's insane amounts of magic damage. Just more reliable damage onto Meepo since he can't BKB all of.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the Vlad's is obviously value, like you said, but at the same time, after Ags, it feels like you just want to go for big market items. Like the AC you brought up is probably a more normal choice in a game like this. But
Love this play from NiP, by the way. Siege creep wave bottom. They're pressuring in. Oh, nice centaur stop.
Remnant out. Looks like they want to defend here. Actually, a cancel TP as Saberlight gets glimpsed under the tier 1 tower now. Static Storm is available, but no kinetic field to follow it up, but doesn't matter. Okay, Sonny is here to finish the job. He is about 2,200 away from finishing his Aghanim Scepter in all its glory. Roger's in the DD room.
Can we have a set for Elder Titan where his weapon is like a big church bell, and then every time it hits, it goes bong, bong? Dude,
that sounds too religious, but sure.
I want that set.
I call it a church. Call it a cowbell.
If anybody makes the set, cowbell. I want a percentage. I'm just saying, this was my idea, and I will sue you.
All right, give him 1%. He'll make about $2 in today's workshop. Very profitable. Seneko in the meantime. Oh, nice centaur stomping. We'll be able to clean him up pretty easily, though. TP support Charlie has Omni Slash only level 1 either. There's a silence onto the Nyx, but there's not going to be much to follow it up with. We'll get troubles. Remnant put up again onto the high ground, and that'll break things up completely. As Meepo Supreme will continue to just farm in the jungle, going for looks like the exact same build, the triple Wraithband into E-Blade.
Yeah, and the gold line of the game is about the same as the last game, like a 1k lead, minute 13 for NiP. They have had a
oh my goodness! Juggernaut just gets blown up.
All are healed for what?
Yeah, the heal does not go through death, unfortunately. That is the one downside. Is there's the glimpse again, and Saberlight will fall. But great rotations here for HellRaisers. As I don't think the Juggernaut was like he wasn't the one laning against Elder Titan. Like if it was Meepo, he'd know, right? But now Juggernaut knows after dying.
Wait, this guy hits real hard. Why didn't you tell me? They're typing
to each other. You ignored your teammates during the game. Let's be real.
I think the bigger play there is getting that kinetic field static storm out of the tree line on Jug. Like it's very common for Jug to want to frontline in these situations because he can counterplay everything else than this exact thing, and Char obviously set it up very nicely there with the Pushka. So currently rocking a 0-7 scoreline, a little bit of James Bond reference. Very nice.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get any more kills, death throws this the rest of the game. Let's see how they manage to do that.
One can hope. 007. Bets would be great on that one, honestly. They're the odds, I should say. Why don't we see more Elder Titan core when there's no Meepo? Like the old Bulba mid days, you know? Back when the hero was literally completely different on almost every level. But
that's a really good answer to your own question. Yes.
Well, look at his weapon, okay? He has a stapler, or a briefcase as some like to call it. He's a guy that just likes to go to business. He likes to go to town on people. Why would you put him as a support ever? This is a core hero, Synderin. He wants to beat people up. If you go to the office with a briefcase, you don't like your life very much, chances are. I mean, I've been in that situation before.
To beat people up? What?
I don't know where I'm going with this one, not gonna lie. I got stuck in that ramble and it just never ended, apparently.
Super dead.
Okay, Sonny doesn't really take that much damage as Charlie takes a heap amount. A heap amount, whatever that means.
That's a big amount.
Continue on, Nyx. Maelstrom is applied, so does have a little bit to work with in terms of the spread damage to the Meepo.
Possibly in trouble here.
Inkswell gets the silence off on the Phoenix, and Inkswell will connect. Looks like they actually want to fight Supreme, though. Better be careful. He's taking a ton of damage from Elder Titan. Uses his ult for the first time this game. It will actually connect on one. They will apply all their pressure to the one in the backline. The poof going in, but there's the glimpse into the kinetic field. Looks like Supreme will die. Comes in with all his meepos, but that briefcase just hits too hard. He's not having a good day at the office today. Seneko looks to be next on the list. So 3 for nothing. They have no answer for Keisani, and this is before his Aghanim Scepter.
I can't get over this mental image of you going into work just to beat people up with a briefcase.
I mean, this is my personal
you getting in a
experience.
fight with a briefcase. It's so good. I don't know. It really doesn't fit your profile. That's why it's so funny.
Back when I had a real job, Synderin, I was not happy. So I'm using personal experience to paint this
So
picture
you're saying you got fired for beating people up, and then you got into esports?
I actually did get fired once, but it wasn't for beating people up. It was because I was so lazy at my job
Oh, I find that almost impossible to believe. No way.
It was within the first week of employment. That's impressive. Like, usually they give you some leeway, but not these guys. They're hardcore. It was for the best, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now I get to talk to you every week. Good gracious.
See us.
About a video game. Saberlight glimpsed into the kinetic field. He's all alone for now, and, well, they blow him up very fast. I mean, despite this, NiP is still pretty much even worth. I'm guessing a lot of that has to do with just the Meepo being able to farm more efficiently than everybody on the map.
It still does feel like a much harder game for them right now than the previous one, just because HR has so much more tempo and so many more plays to make on the map. Last game, they were way more reliant on the Shadow Fiend really getting the job done. Now, Ember can set them up, Void Spirit can set them up. Elder Titan even can give vision for glimpse. Like, there's plenty of good synergies in HR that allows them to play more aggressive, play faster on the map, and not be scared of fighting. See Nyx going in here, plus the Chen. I think HR didn't even access the area of the map last game, or barely, at least. Now they're just dominating.
There's Seneko. He's going to get stuck inside the kinetic field. There is a glimpse, but it's not really going to be to much effect as Seneko will fall. But the egg is destroyed. We talked about this combination, and this is a 1-for-1 trick. Nyx and Kaysani on the high ground. We'll see if Meepo actually wants to fight the soul line onto 2. There's a double Omni slash JK. It's only on 1. And the fight will continue here. It looks like Meepo very low. Supreme basically one right click away as the Ember Spirit's going to commit. It's going to be extremely close. It's the Aether Remnant. It connects, but no. Supreme shot live despite the Urn Charge being applied to him. Now Kaysani with the Aghanim Scepter. Didn't notice how long that BKB was lasting, Synderin, but he will hightail away.
Seconds.
So NiP.
He only hit charge.
Supreme lives, and that is huge.
Yeah, that was real close once again for NiP, but nicely done getting out of there. And obviously the E-Blade is a really big difference maker here for Supreme. Having that allows him to counterplay the Elder Titan, where whatever target he's going on, one of them will have ice armor from Chen, and then Meepo can either E-Blade aggressively or defensively. Mostly will be defensively because of the Astral Spirit Ags, obviously. But yeah. Used it to great effect there, did Supreme. Stayed alive. Really nice fight.
Yeah, I was actually thinking to bring that up as well. Funnick, do you think he will go for an Ags next?
Oh, Nyx!
Really good against me, though. Oh, Nyx. Oh, boy. Yeah, we got the combo potentially from Kaysani if they want to go for it, but his ult is down for 15. He's going to get E-bladed. BKB. Let's see how long this lasts. How long
this is lasting really long.
That really long. So, yeah. He gets every hero. It's, what'd you say?
16 seconds.
16-second BKB, not bad.
He's never really a hit for Meepos and the other 4 heroes, but it would be cool.
You never know.
Charlie getting bot tower finally. 20 minutes this time around for the first tower for NiP. Last game it was, I think, 16. Glimpse.
True. It was definitely a different game here. I think he was trying for this outpost, but he melts as the 20-minute mark approaches. Looks like that outpost will go to the Radiant. Charlie trying to go for the Dyers here. He can get it is the question. Roger doesn't have a stun to speak of. And he will get it and will TP out to safe. Very nicely done. And I'm not sure. How important is the 20-minute mark? We've talked about this one before, but as Elder Titan, wow. He gets caught off with absolutely nobody near him. Big kill there for NiP, and they're gonna smoke out.
He must have had a bad Astral Spirit running. Meepo ran in and just overwhelmed him. If he has Astral Spirit ready when he gets jumped, he can Astral the Meepo, pull back in Spirit instantly and just run away. But this time around it wasn't cooldown. He tried to stomp, didn't manage to get it off. And that is, it's a nice kill. I believe Saberlight was involved for the track gold there as well. So ET's just, it's just so deceptive, right? This hero. Like, you look at the net worth right now, and he's like 3k behind the Meepo, but it feels like
you're right.
Good fight. his net worth is just so insanely valuable if everything connects. Saberlight will get healed. Oh, dusted. Didn't matter.
Spirit Vessel is upon him, so he's getting even lower, but there's the healing word to keep him safe. Glimpse back. This is Supreme in the wrong place right now. The egg is placed on top along with the Elder Titan. Meepo is dead. Charlie trying to blink kill, but not enough. That is a 2 for nothing. That's both cores dead for NiP, as the rest of the team has to hightail away. Bionic does find Chen with the 8th remnant, and then it comes back and a 3rd kill going away with HellRaisers. Question is, how much more can they get past this?
It's kind of crazy when you think about, right, on this Elder Titan topic, that you can have a hero with this, like, let's say he's 3k net worth behind the Meepo. His net worth is insanely good that when you consider how much gold you get for killing this Elder Titan compared to the Meepo and how it impacts the game, it's such a, like, the risk reward is just really nicely favoring you, because you can even 2 or 3 fights in a row, but you know if you get that one good Astral Spirit, your net worth counts like triple almost in fights, right, in terms of impact.
Right.
So it's really crazy that, like, if it wasn't for track on the other side, right, then it's even worse. But at least NiP have that going for them when they do find kills. Not like they found too many this game.
I mean, I think a part of that, now that I think about it a little bit more, Cinder, in case, like, Elder Titan just doesn't farm well. He can kill if you play him core, but he doesn't really farm well, which is actually opens up for why you would go for something like the Echo Saber, which he is going for now. It's an item that you can afford. It'll help you get more kills, help you farm a little bit, I suppose, but going for like an AC would just take forever at this stage of the game. It's like,
oh, they jumped up mid instant.
Their ult, and he
got out
his
of
own
there.
ult.
I thought he was soulbound. Oh yeah, they killed Disrupt. The soulbound ended. That was actually a bit of a
mistake. Getting really low. The remnant from the Ember Spirit, not enough to take him out. Not in line. In fact, the Elder Titan again will fall. So despite feeling like they're almost behind in a lot of these fights, NiP just keeps coming back. They get the tier 1 tower. They can go for Roshan now. They have the Rosh killing lineup.
Yep.
And with Elder Titan dead, they don't really have much of a defense. It's really just egg.
This is such a big moment. ET dying like this in the middle of the map on his own, like you said, super costly. And again, a little bit of flashbacks to game number 1, not gonna lie. Sure, this time they didn't go into the Roche pit, but they did give a freebie away without buybacks. And NiP, easy cleanup here. There's nothing they can do.
They might have to sacrifice himself, but I think the rest of NiP will be perfectly fine with that. A 1-4 Roshan, as now Meepo finally has the Aegis he's always wanted.
And
one of the best Aegis carriers in the game.
I wonder a little bit how familiar Kasani is with this type of gameplay as Elder Titan, because what he did right before he entered the fight in mid was he threw an Astral Spirit at the Chen and his creeps, stomped and pulled it back in. And then he has cooldown on his Astral Spirit. It's a 17-second cooldown. And he got 1 stack of magic immunity. It expired right away. So for the next 15 seconds, he's exposed. And I think you need to, as Elder Titan in this kind of game, you need to really be careful with how you throw your spirit. It's your bread and butter. It's everything. Without spirit, your hero is just bad right now. You've invested everything into this spell, so you can't throw it away like this. It really needs to connect on heroes or be used in a fight, or at the very least, if there's nothing better to do, then I think don't use it. The enemy team has no stuns, so if they try to jump you and you have Astral Spirit ready, you can very quickly. It's kind of like popping a BKB, right? You throw it out, you instantly pull it back in. You get magic immunity, and you can stand in and fight your ground. So,
yeah.
In this instance, he did get isolated by Jugger, which, again, if you have magic immunity there, it doesn't help. Maybe the armor could have offset it. Who knows? But they were just flat out caught out of position. Big win for NiP there. And let's see if they can do what they did last game now and snowball this into another W.
Yeah, I mean, just to remind people that this stage of the game, maybe not quite at this time frame, but in terms of Meepo items, this is when they won the game with these items. He had enough to finish his sheep stick, so it's a little bit in the future.
He had a Scotty too, right?
Even getting it.
It was a bit later.
Oh, did he have Scotty?
Yeah, he had a Scotty too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Scotty, I think Charlie, is he either going for Scotty or an Aghanim Scepter, but I feel like Ags on Jug is real bad until you get a bunch of items. As cool as it does sound.
It's a bit... I think we've had this conversation before on the cast, right? Like when we talked about when new Ags come out and people have to rate them, and they're like, it's hard to gauge. Like most people thought the IO Ags when it came out wasn't anything special. It was like, okay. Some people said it's really good. Some people said it's the worst. Some said it's all right. And then it just turns out in the right strategy with the right timing, it was busted. And it's kind of the same with this Omnislash one where people were like, I guess it's okay. And then when you look at the stats a little bit more and you try playing it and feeling it and using it in the right situation, it has seemed really good in some games where, you get this high range initiation on Juggernaut by having it. gives you a secondary escape. It gives you farming speed because Quick Slash can very quickly farm a camp or push a wave. There's a lot of advantages to this item. It is what he's buying, by the way. He's not going Scotty.
Yeah, he just put in his quick buy. I'm excited to see it. I mean, he does have Mask of Madness, so I guess that's the argument there is you don't need technically attack speed items when you have the Mask of Madness. You just pop it while you're Omni Slashing or Swift Slashing in that case.
Got to be a bit careful, right? Because it outlasts the Swift Slash by a lot of time. So then you're exposed afterwards. I think using Swift Slash with Mask of Madness can be a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
Omni Slash has a duration, so it outlasts a big chunk of the Mask of Madness.
Omni Slash, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
You can't use them both in succession, right? Like whichever one you used first with Mom, you can't cast the other one. So what you Swift Slash without Mask of Madness to get in position, and then you Omni Slash with Mask of Madness.
Oh my god, Disrupt ult trying to save him, but not even remotely close. But he did get his ult off inside the Static Storm. Meepo was very low, but again, the healing ward, the sustain, NiP 2 games in a row. This
Caught out without
whatever else they have.
Astral Spirit. Once again, that is really the name of the game. They're trying to kill this ET with Spirit down. HR needs to get the hell out of here. Oh, Roger's dead.
Roger's Dunzo. I mean, one thing about the Aghanim Scepter Elder Titan, and the reason it's not picked up in normal games is because you have to wait for the spirit to get to you. So there's a delay, and there's ways to play around that. If you jump them, like if he had a BKB, he could have lived, in theory, right?
It's a matter of how HR spread their heroes on the map, though. Like, Elder Titan's not supposed to initiate. Right? He has Ember, Disruptor, to do that for him, but if he's stranded on an island like this and he gets jumped, it's obviously going to look bad. But that also means you're not playing the lineup to his strengths, right? Where he wants to get follow-up. Right. 800 damage right now.
This time, let's see if he can do anything with it. Trying to right-click away. Supreme getting very low. He's actually going to get stunned somehow from the Void Spear. That was really good aim, if you want to call it that. Omni Flash, Soulbind onto 2. Funnick is Dunzo. Elder Titan has to go back to base. This looks like a rest at the very least. The kinetic field Static Storm is up in 10 seconds. They're going to get the melee rack, but unlike last game, NiP have to back. Supreme, that's
it's not just TP.
Charlie, very low drop as a result. He got his Aghanim Scepter in base now. He can enjoy that while you wait to respawn as Meepo. I mean, they get the melee racks, but they lose both cores again. I mean, it feels like they've lost these 2 cores in several fights, but then they just come back, they pick off the Elder Titan, and then they push. That's kind of what the game's felt like from NiP's side.
When it works, it works. You can really see this combo from HR, how insane it is when it lands. And again, the huge difference maker for me is they get to make the move. The enemy team is showing on your high ground, so you get to initiate, you catch with Static Storm Field, then you can follow up with the ET getting his Spirit on, I think, 6 heroes in that instance. He got 4 Meepos plus 2 others, plus 700 damage, runs in, and you saw him queue up a Ghost Scepter, actually. I wonder if his logic here is, well, when I'm getting jumped by Meepo and Jugger, if I have Ghost Scepter, I can stay alive, and then whenever I want to break the Ghost, I can do that by using Astral Spirit, because it gives you magic immunity, so it removes... Kind of like when you BKB your own Ghost Scepter, right?
Destroy him in theory, in that case?
It's not enough damage at all. He has like 3k health. ET is a beefy boy, in theory. He just doesn't have any armor, so when Meepo gets on top of him, it looks... it looks easy.
Like, despite these fights, we've seen him die a few times, obviously, but remember when I brought up it feels like I brought up the Echo Saber almost 10 minutes ago, but obviously it's not been that long. He's just finishing it now. Like,
he has
not
died
as fast
2 or
as you think.
3 times in the last, I want to say 10 minutes. He's died 3 times, I think. Been delayed. This isn't... Again, the cost-benefit thing, right? It's an insane value item on this hero. You pay 2,000 gold for this almost one-shot combo on any hero. There's only one other hero in Dota that Echo Saber gives this much immediate burst value on, and that's Sven, right? Like, Monkey King gets it to build up Jingu stacks, which is just a very well-rounded item for the hero throughout the game. But on this hero, it's just something special.
Freaking Sven, man.
If you think of the damage increase per gold and you compare it to what other heroes pay for the same thing, ET is very happy this item exists.
You know what they need to do for Sven to bring him back, Cinderin? One change, among others.
He needs to start with like 5 buffs.
He does need. I think he needs stats plus, but from a skill perspective, I have a personal problem with the fact that if you get Aghanim Scepter and Echo Saber, they don't stack. I think that's dumb. It should not work that way.
I really don't think that changes anything right now.
It's a huge difference. That's one extra hit, Cinder. It should.
It is under the condition that you get the items.
You can get it if you boot. Like I said, give him like 20 stats to all attributes, and then that other change, and he'll be good. I should be balancing this game, honestly.
I think God's Strength needs a buff, actually.
In what way?
Cooldown. I think Sven's biggest problem is how weak he is without his ulti. He's like a transformation hero, but comparing him to all the other transformation heroes, he kind of offers less than a Terrorblade.
He's been like that forever, though, right? It's always been that way.
But there's been, I think, if you want to compare him to other transformation heroes, right? Lycan is the obvious choice. What does Lycan give that Sven doesn't? He's better in lane. He pushes towers. He kills Roche. He pushes lanes without risk. There's just so many things that Lycan can that this guy can't. And what Sven has is, he has a stun. And Warcry, honestly, is just not as good as it has been in the past.
How much do you think it would help to... I like how we're talking about Sven during this pause. This is my kind of cast right here.
During pause, you can talk about anything you want.
That's true. What if, for God's Strength, it didn't have a cast time? Similar to Warcry. So you can keep running while you cast it. Like, how much difference do you think that makes in the grand scheme of things?
Minimal.
Like, I'm not saying that's the only buff you give him, but just from like a quality of life and everyday use type of thing.
Definitely helps, but I don't think that's Sven's biggest problem right now. It's about the pacing of the game. It's about how many items he needs to feel useful, and the fact that he just gets kited. And if you do get successfully kited, when your ulti is down, you're just very weak. Right? Where again, the other transformation heroes, to give an example, Dragon Knight is a transformation hero. His downtime is way shorter. Terrorblade is a transformation hero that has a longer downtime, but during his downtime, he can push creep waves with 0 risk. He can just send illusions to push the map. Transformation hero, but when his ulti is on cooldown, he can send wolves to push lanes. He can scout. He can push lanes with his Necro book that he buys, and his transformation is, I almost want to say, objectively speaking, just flat out way stronger for a very long time in the game. Like, Shapeshift is just a better spell.
Well, it's funny, as the game now will be on pause, so we'll stop talking about Sven now. JK, I'm just going to finish up Cinderella. When the ag came out, the latest ags for him, he was busted. And I thought they would micro nerf him, but they really went to town. We just have not seen him at all since then. Yeah. The Sven talk is over, guys. You can subscribe to the Sven talk anytime you like at #SvenTalk on Twitter. Doesn't look like the tier 2 tower will fall, though, as HellRaisers will back off now. And remember, we're back in this game. Echo Saber is now complete on the Elder Titan.
Yep.
We'll see how much difference it makes here. Ember Spirit has a Yule's Maelstrom Deso. So all the spread he can get onto this Meepo.
Yeah. And the Deso is the big one here because it makes Elder Titan kill Meepo way faster, right? He's had it for a long time now, but it's still... It kind of compensates for the fact that Ember is very spread damage heavy, that you have this insane single target in Elder Titan. It means that whoever gets isolated can really die, but you once again see the problem. They get this really good fight, but they couldn't even take the mid-tier 2 when they push the other way. So you need to overwhelmingly win a fight in the enemy side of the map to get some meaningful real estate out of it. And you can't, like, I don't know when you can kill the Roche with this Radiant lineup. I actually don't know. It will take them forever in the current state to kill Roche, because ET can't get damage when the enemy lineup's dead.
Yeah. So, once they get 80, maybe it'll get a bit easier. More extra minus armor to go along with the Deso. But it's not like it's gonna take... It's not like it's gonna be instant like the Meepo. Meepo Jug, pretty freaking fast. Funnick, looking to scout things out here. There is the ward from NiP's side, so they do see Funnick. Actually, D-Ward here's... My goodness, Disruptor is dead. Was that just a Swift Slash? That wasn't even the Omni. Jeez Louise. I mean, that's the beauty of having Swift Slash, is you can bait out like Ghost Scepters and whatnot, and then just wait it out, and then you go for the actual Omni Slash. I mean, theoretically speaking, this item is very cool. Makes a lot of sense. And this tier 2 tower is going to take some heavy damage. It's going to die. Technically to stop. Charlie's going to spin to win. They're going to get that one for free. So 4th lead for NiP at the current point in time. Roger is going to be scouted here by Saberlight very shortly. I do. Nope, actually moves himself out of the trees.
Something to keep in mind about Roger's build now is that I think Egg is actually very reliable in the game now. If he jumps in with Icarus dive and halberds the jug, he can kind of just egg where he is, whatever location it is. Because then you only have one option as the Dire, and that is commit your Meepo to kill off the egg. And if you do that, the whole combo lands. So he kind of can't do that. So the Jugger who was the against the egg is now out of the picture if he gets halbered.
Saberlight. This is the smoke gank. I mean, if you're NiP, you're relatively okay with this.
We got 4 bounties, right? That's great. No problem.
The 30-minute mark as well. Both outposts went to NiP this time around. So yeah, I think they're going to be okay with that overall. The smoke gank is actually a little late to actually get that outpost. Charlie will be fine. I mean, is there anything they can do about this this spin TP? Do you get like a basher on somebody? It feels kind of weird to bite on any of these.
Could get one on Ember, but it's so unreliable, right? Like you don't know what you're gonna bash when you slide. It's really weird.
If you upgrade it to Abyssal, you can.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's I don't think you want an ET either. I mean, maybe the Abyssal is good after AC. It could be.
Yeah, I could see that, but he's still far away from AC.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever because, like you said, the hero doesn't farm very fast. So it's gonna take some time.
Right now, we're at the point where Supreme was very strong, similar to the last game. Went the
this time he had Scotty, not Hex, and this time he has Hex, not Scotty. So it's not the same time again.
He flipped it, okay, and he's on his way to finishing his Scotty.
And it is a really good Hex game.
Is NiP right now, by the way? What is?
It's a really good Hex game, sorry, on the Meepo. This side is very good against Ember and Void Spirit. Ember buying Blinkins for that reason. He is anticipating that will be a problem. He's actually close to having it, which would be a really big item for Nyx. But NiP might be looking for a move there, and they have smoke ready. They're in a good position here on the map. Maybe they just push the tower and stand strong in this area.
I mean, the problem with I'm not saying Lincoln's is the wrong choice, but you can easily track into an instant initiation from Meepo. Not that difficult to pull off in theory, but you do need to pound it with you, I suppose. So.
Yeah, it does change the map a bit.
We're gonna get a tier 2 tower for free, does Charlie. And based on the positioning, I think HellRaiser probably thinks he's being backed up here. But it is a smoke for NiP on the other side of the map. They're looking.
Top tower is under attack.
Hey, actually going for here. Just going for some D wards. There's a scan coming in on the Roche pit, so they could go for Roche without the fear of that. But there's the Aether Remnant. Will actually taunt Roche himself.
Top tower is under attack.
With the ETL, this becomes so much more difficult to take. Like, NiP can kill Roshan quickly, but HellRaiser's team fight is far superior in the confined space.
Yeah.
So you basically just have to go for pickoffs in order to take it.
NiP went over here because they were concerned that HR were actually getting Roche eventually. Like, they scanned it out, all right? They can kill it. It takes really long. Maybe they were just like, let's hope they make the same mistake as game 1. Then it would be great.
Yeah.
But they obviously didn't go for it. But yeah, they were off the map for so long that NiP were wondering. Okay, Jugger will try to break the smoke here successfully.
Saberlight again will break it, and he will likely get it blown up. Or is he? It's like Omni Slash. Is that maybe a Swift Slash? We'll see. Funnick takes the brunt of the damage, but Phoenix is getting initiated on, but there's the egg into the static storm. Can they actually prevent it from going off? But no, the egg does die. But Elder Titan destroys Mr. Meepo. Saberlight getting pretty low, but the Ink Swell will not connect. It's a nice job again from mitigating that completely. As the buyback from both the Meepo and the Phoenix are in tow. That was the last actual step from Funnick to get away. And with this, we'll see what NiP wants to be. I mean, Meepo is back in the fray. They could go for more. They don't have to worry about that ET ult anymore.
They still have to worry about the Astral Spirit, though. That will always be a factor. The biggest part of Elder Titan's kit right now is online non-stop. So buying back does not...
35 right now on the damage department. Oh my god.
It gets way uglier than that. He had plus 800 in his own base earlier. If he hits everyone, it's crazy. He gets 105 damage per hero. So...
pretty dirty. Phoenix taking a Swift Slash to the face. Will live. Spin. TP, and we'll be fine.
He's making so much space for the Roche.
It's true, Roche is being taken out, and looks like Saberlight might want to sacrifice himself again. Sleight of Fist is pretty close. They might have to back out, though. This would be a dieback for the Meepo if he goes down. And I think with this, they're going to have to back. There's the Soulbind onto 2. Looks like the Disruptor dies right off the bat. Ember Spirit getting very low along with the Phoenix, but it looks like they're going to survive this onslaught. Charlie taking the right place from Kaysani with plus 555 damage, and down goes the Juggernaut. Does the buyback, will use it immediately. Stomp out the entirety of NiP as the BKB will continue on. That is a dive. No, the E-Blade takes a little bit longer, but falls shortly after. And now that's a double kill. And here's the Omni Slash onto the Elder Titan. Finally goes down. The briefcase is no more. You've been fired, friend. You have to buy back in the game immediately. Charlie spins, not quite in range. Up, still gets stuck. And that is a dieback on the Juggernaut now. Kinetic Field not able to catch it out of Seneko, attempting the TP. And next, we'll find the Yules. And that is 4 dead right now, but that is a double dieback for NiP and a free Roche. Fine. Hey, this is the Roche on it. They can't take Roche unless it's at quarter HP. And here we go. Great fight for HellRaisers.
And you saw there in the end, I mean, it's kind of highlighting the fact what Phoenix could do, right? He just dove on top of Jugger, halberted him, and just pressed egg in front of his face. And Charlie spun and was like trying to hit the egg, it looked like, and I was like, oh wait, I can't do that, it doesn't work. And then he couldn't get out, so a bit weird there. But yeah. That was what HR needed. They needed a fight around the Roche pit where they get to initiate, and well, that's basically all, right? If they initiate the fight and they can land their spells, their team fight is still insanely good against this Meepo. And despite Jugger's best efforts to buy space together with the bounty, they still took too long to kill Roche. And I think it might have been a mistake to have Jugger be spacing there, because just Jugger's extra damage and that Deso could have maybe killed the Roche in time if somebody else could have bought the same amount of time or something similar. And it didn't work.
I find this so funny though, and it's kind of a microcosm of how I feel about Dota, and I think a lot of people as well. But kills just don't give you that much goal. Kaysani, oh, we're gonna see the Chen die in the bot lane. He still is not even close to an assault, Sinbrin. Look at his net worth. It's in the middle of the pack, and obviously you said that net worth is maybe a bit misleading for a hero like Elder Titan when you're facing a Meepo, but still, regardless of all that, like how does he not have an assault? That's crazy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Big Phoenix kill
Phoenix
bot
did die.
NiP. Yep, they got him with the bounty plus Grimstroke. Pretty nice combo that those two have. Grimstroke puts on the Phantom's Embrace and then Bounty halberds him, so he can't ever get the silence off. Pretty damn annoying to deal with for the Phoenix in that instance, and we'll get killed off. And now HR needs to be careful that they don't overstep, because Phoenix is a pretty key ingredient in their team fight, and they're not gonna try to pursue any further because of that. But Meepo, oh, Blimps! Oh, this is such a
back, and they will find the kill very easily. Glimpse was just in time.
Then they split his corpse in two as well with Elder Titan. Very nice.
Yes.
Killed him and then buried him right after.
Buried. He got buried, son. Bird. Potential for more era, and Charlie looks like they want to fight. Soulbind onto 2, despite not having the buyback onto the Meepo. Inkswell will connect on pretty much the entirety of HellRaiser. Disruptor ult comes out. Charlie stuck inside. Can he get anything off? Finally, the Omni Slash is there. That is the Aegis. The buyback now onto the Void Spear. He's going to have to TP back. It's going to take him a while to get here. And they're just going to take out the Elder Titan very quickly. Despite not having a Meepo, NiP wins this fight handily.
4v4, no Meepo, no Phoenix, and HR initiate here, and they try to kill the Jugger. They couldn't take him down because of his high armor, and again, you gotta respect your Elder Titan. You're not that good when Meepo isn't there. You didn't have the damage to kill the Jugger because guess what? Your steroid in the enemy team is dead. So Charlie tanks through the whole thing, switches on the ult, gets 2 kills. They waste a buyback on the Void Spirit as well, trying to get this out of there. And just as HR were in a good spot again, they just dropped the ball. And now Meepo can get summoned down here as soon as he spawns by Divine Favor. They're gonna lose Rax. The other attack, they can't find it. They might just have lost the game, actually. They probably lost the game.
His buyback is down for 4 minutes, so he's not coming back no matter what. Fortifications popped, and with that, Meepo, has he been brought back in? He has. For a jump here. Could just go for the racks inside.
There's the track
I'm
play
sure
that's
they
on
know
top.
that the dieback or the buyback is down. It's going to be a free rack bottom. Let's see if they can go for the top lane.
30 seconds is a good amount of time for a Meepo jug.
Deep Saberlight just trying to waste as much time as possible. Don't want to probably commit to anything here. Decent amount of damage down to Bounty, especially with Localized healing ward. Not out at the moment. Actually continuing on. Funny jumps in. Only has his W to get away. Phoenix, this is a huge kill, but he gets the egg off and instantly dies to the Meepo. That is a huge part of their team fight down. Now it's Funny looking to try to take out this Juggernaut, and they will. So NiP, despite looking like they were about to win the game potentially, did not go for the third rack and tried to fight under the tier 4s. Now Elder Titan is back in tow, my friend. Seneko pops the Ghost Scepter, will fall shortly after. Ember Spirit trying to go for some more Supreme. This could be a huge kill for them, and yeah, with Kexani, ridiculous damage coming through. Divine Rapier picked up on the Ember Spirit. Looks like he'll be getting that very shortly. And the Bounty will be the last kill in this engagement. They do have 2 buybacks, but on none of the cores.
The really big thing there, Meepo is trying to jump and burst the Ember Spirit, but the Linken's was up. They hadn't pre-popped it, so he blinks. Linken's blocks. And now you suddenly just place your Meepo in the middle of everything with no kill on the Ember. He counterplays him, the ET comes in, and they clean up. It's impossible to predict right now what's happening in this game. All of these fights are pretty scrappy and like crazy stuff is going on. But it's very entertaining for sure.
Man,
oh, Era might get caught here by the Yule. He will.
He gets the silence off, but it'll be taken off very quickly. Yeah, he's dead. So Nyx now hurts a lot.
He can push.
Meepo
He has a rapier.
Yeah,
can
that's
break
their
towers.
pushing item. I mean, very standard for pushing. First thing I think of is Rapier, for sure. Meepo does have buyback. Will be back in 20, so can basically have 2 lives once he's back up and running.
You need to kill Ember. You can't focus ET and expect that the fight is clean anymore. That's the nice thing about this rapier is it's high risk, but the reward is also very, very high since it makes NiP's team fight less clear-cut how they play it now. Especially if Nyx, even just a Crystalist right now would be crazy value with what he has, but might see him saving for the buyback. I don't know if that's worth it with losing the rapier. Maybe you just go flat out all in with your itemization here.
Well, we got the tier 4 items trickling in. Let's see if we get anything juicy. Flicker on, I believe that was the side of HellRaisers.
Princess Knight for Funnick. Is he gonna give that to
Ninja Gear.
the?
Ninja
Not sure.
Gear is pretty good on Meepo, I would think. He has it on him right now. That
It's
sounds really nice.
Definitely good.
What about the side of HellRaisers? What did they pick up? Do have the Flicker. It's going to be on Elder Titan. What can he take off? Track?
Yeah.
Take off the... I don't think... No, Dispel doesn't work against the silence from Grimstroke.
No.
I guess in theory, Penitence.
Yeah.
I mean, can he flicker? I guess flickering during like an Omni Slash. Is that enough range though?
How much is it? I actually don't know that. That would be a pretty cool interaction if you could outrange Omni Slash somehow with that. That sounds possible to me, actually, that would be enough.
Ooh.
But he swapped in the spider legs again. So, wants the free movement.
Fair enough. Spell Prism is God tier, by the way. I do believe I would call it the best tier 4 item. Obviously, some of them are game dependent, but the thing is redonk.
Lotus Orb on Funnick. He can now counterplay Swift Slash and Omni Slash for one ally. Imagine Omni Slashing as Elder Titan when you have the Astral Spirit buff. God, I want to see this so bad right now.
By the
I
way,
wanna
he
see
gave
that
up on the
so
assault.
bad.
I don't know if we mentioned that. He bought a plate mail and just gave up. He's like, this is never happening. It's been 30 minutes I've been working on this item. We'll be going for BKB on top of the Ag Cinder.
And on top of Minotaur Horn. So now he has a second Dispel here through the... He really wants to be immune to stuff. That's pretty clear by now.
Do you think...
I don't know if that... I don't know
Does
if
Ags
BKB is
even
the right
make
choice.
sense with BKB?
It
Do you think he
guarantees
regrets
that you can,
getting Ags?
It he definitely doesn't regret getting X. No way.
Okay. All right.
But
I mean, he's buying a BKB. That to me, that feels like he's regretting it.
I'm wondering if he should go a Lincoln's as well, similar to the Ember, for the same reasons that.
Yeah, the sheep.
I don't know.
Initiation for sure.
Yeah, and also maybe it is overkill, right? You already okay. Now he swapped the horn out. Now I like the BKB again because when he was carrying the Minotaur horn, he already had that to set off his guaranteed Astral Spirit, right?
All right, we'll see. I can't wait to see him be magic immune for 30 seconds in a fight.
Well, the problem is he
26,
has to stack them, right? He can't just pop his BKB, then he's not useful. He has to use the Astral on top of it, so
Yeah.
durations will overlap regardless.
I mean, he's banking on this going real late, and then he's going to go down to 5-second BKBs. There's a smoke here from NiP. Kinetic field, giving a little bit of vision here. Not sure if HellRaisers are aware of this. Level 25 on Funnick now. Simulate stuns for 2.5 seconds. That is
Super strong talent.
was nerfed though. It used to be 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Oh, Jugger.
Yeah, Juggernaut's in a line.
Damage.
The Elder Titan all coming through, dealing decent amounts to Juggernaut, but it looks like he will fall very shortly. He's got the on, so it's going to be reflected on the Lotus Orb. He's going to Ami again. That's just slash the follow. He is healing so much from both Chen and his healing ward. He's going to apply all his pressure to the post now.
Look at
Here
ET.
comes the Elder Titan
Wait, why
with
doesn't
the
he
right click Supreme running away, but gets glimmered, gets glimpsed back. This is all about the Elder Titan show. He's going to get silenced now. He might be brought down. He's going to eat the cheese. He's trying to right click the Supreme. He's going to be close. It's a 1-for-1. They trade each other essentially. The buybacks are coming through. Meepo, everybody has bought back into the game now as the chase continues, as Chen goes Scepter. Probably not going to keep you safe too much longer, my friend. It's Charlie still alive, gets the Swift Slash. That is enough to take out Disruptor all in his lonesome, and he's going to buy back into the game along with the Chen. So now it's back to a 5v5 despite everybody that has died in this fight. And they're just going to reset.
Radiant's
I thought ET hit a 6-hero stomp, and his Astral Spirit, it looked like to me it traveled through all of the Meepos. It comes back in, he's like, let's go, boys. He runs in, I'm like, oh, look at the Titan. He hit plus 225 damage. What happened? Why did
I don't know.
Did he just, was his Spirit just short of all of the Meepos there? So he didn't land it? So
Might
he
have
hit the
gotten too
stomp, but not the
excited.
Spirit. That's really good. That's a road for NiP now. Aegis Cheese, Ag Scepter on Jugger
Ags.
currently. Wait, who did he give it to? Or was there? Wait, was that just Roche number 2? Am I
No, there was Ag. He gave it to Bounty Hunter, so you're going to have Janata steal now.
Okay.
Or the bounce.
Oh boy.
So that is... I'm trying to think of the better one. Grimstroke's Ag is not good this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Meepo, I mean, if you're not used to playing with the extra Meepo, then it's not great. Plus,
You just make ET stronger.
yeah, that you're making ET stronger. And Chen, is it still just the heal increase? What does it do now? I can't remember. What does it do? Wow, I have no...
Ancient takeover?
Is that not a talent? Well, maybe it is.
No.
Okay. I'm thinking the Doom can eat ancients.
Yeah. Would
Wait, it
Chen
doesn't
X be
affect
good?
his ult at all anymore? So you can take over 3 ancient creeps with Scepter, and that's all it does, right? Okay. Yeah, I think Bounty seems like the most consistent. None of them are like super crazy though, this game.
Well, this way you scale your bounty if the game goes long enough. I mean, he's already rich, but it's also inflated like crazy because he got the Ag Scepter, right? That inflates his net worth by 6k. But if they keep fighting like this and there's tracks flying around all the time and he gets to Shuriken, eventually he's going to start building big items. So they probably think it's the best investment. With the perspective of where the game is at right now, I actually think even the Grimstroke Ags might be better right now,
Really?
right? It feels like a game that could end in 1 minute. Like, what would your Ags on Bounty have done? A bit of Shuriken damage on track targets, because you get Janata procs.
I mean,
that-
a bit? That's pretty good.
It's 160 damage. It's not, I mean, it's
Yeah, but you're assuming you're casting it only once. I mean, that's something you could be able to do multiple times in a fight.
I'm thinking, like, even if these Grimstroke illusions aren't amazing, they still contribute to
target.
Yeah, they're not great. Okay, my point is, I think this is better for a short duration. So if they think the game's about to end, I don't like the Bounty Hunter one. But if they think it goes on for even a little bit, this
Well,
is better.
if with that logic, then I would say Chen is better than the rest.
Oh, I think so. I think
Right
that could
now.
be great too. I agree. Getting good ancient creeps, Granite Golem, you know.
Yeah, Granite Golem's legit.
Really
Extra
good for me.
HP for the win. Meepo's
I actually agree with you. I think Chen is the best one. I think they actually should have done that in this game.
Well, the problem is you're playing against an Ember Spirit who has Divine Rapier. Doesn't that feel like you'll be able to take them out pretty fast? Does he have data lists? Yeah, he does have full data lists as well. So he is... Whew. Of course, doesn't have the extra cleave that something like a Battle Fury would give, but... Actually, he is going for Battle Fury now, so... Are we actually waiting for these for the buybacks here? I mean, right now, NiP has the lead in terms of net worth by quite a bit, but the game can end if the diebacks come in order, right? If they don't wait for these. So we'll see. Could just wait for the next Roche. The Roche that they just killed.
Oh, what's the buyback
it is
timer?
scary, though.
4 minutes. It is scary. This game kind of relies on one fight right now.
But I think this is the right choice.
It's go time.
Oh, the courier will live. That's a perseverance. I don't know whose is that. Is it for the Battle Fury? Yeah, but it's not even close, so it doesn't matter that much.
Saberlight was close, but
this is the time to fight because you have the Aegis, you have the cheese.
Perseverance over being close to buyback on Ember.
Well, as far as his buyback's not even on cooldown.
Nope.
Wow.
I mean, he knows he's going to lose the rapier if he dies, and unless he gets some crazy immediate buyback into Fire Remnant picking it up again, the follow-up of getting it back will probably be challenging. But I still think saving buyback here instead of just getting a Perseverance that's going to sit in your stash anyway, like...
I mean, he's anticipating that they'll have no problem defending for a while, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that is really risky. They were like, he's going to pop the Lincolns. That's what they need. They'll have it pretty consistently. Just allowing the creeps to come in. There's one tier 4 remaining. Funnick now tracked up, does have his Lotus. Should mention he did pick up the Witless Shaco. There's the Swift Slash. Oh, Disruptor ultimate. Juggernaut is in a lot of trouble. Half HP. They're going to kill the healing ward. And the heal. Oh my god, that ult from Elder Titan decimating again the Meepo. But that is just the Aegis. And they're going to take out both the Disruptor and the Phoenix now as the Omni Slash coming through. And this could be the beginning of the end of poor HellRaiser. Despite having a great defense, Funnick is going to be the third on the list. He's going to buy back immediately. Supreme's just going for Ancient now. It's at half HP. The fortification spot. This Elder Titan trying to do as much damage as he can. They will take out the Meepo, and they will defend as a result. But Charlie's the one continuing to right click. He's going to spin, trying to take out the Aegis. It's real close. They get it. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was so close. Oh. Meepo didn't have buyback. This could possibly have developed into something. Oh, Jesus.
Holy crap. That was a game.
Really, really key thing for the ending of that fight is that they get the Soulbound Silence on Phoenix. There was no Supernova. Roger never got it off. And if he gets the Supernova off on top of the Ancient, they probably defend there. But heads up play from Air identifying he can get a bind on the Phoenix with the silences out. Roger can't remove it. And then they just overwhelmed them with the Arms Slash. What a great game, though. That was super fun.
Yeah, that was
nice
the best game we've cast in this tournament thus far.